You are listening to a cassette recording of a channeling session from the Raw Contact, a series of 106 sessions that were conducted between 1981 and 1984, using a form of tuned trance telepathy. Throughout these sessions, a group of entities identified as Ra shared information regarding the Law of One, spiritual evolution, and a variety of esoteric topics through a series of questions and answers. The full text transcript of these recorded sessions can be read for free at lnlresearch.org, where you can also learn more about this audio and its origins. This recording is intended for personal study and is not available for commercial use. Please contact LNL Research if you wish to use this audio in any other way.
February 22nd, 1981. Raw 28, February 22nd,
I may be backtracking a little bit and make a few false starts today because I think we are at possibly the most important part of what we're doing, and that I'm trying to make it apparent through questioning how everything is one and how it comes from the one intelligent infinity. This is difficult for me to do, so please bear with my errors in questioning. The concept that I have right now of the process, using both what you have told me and some of Dewey Larson's material having to do with physics of the process, I have the concept that intelligent infinity expands outward from all locations everywhere. It expands outward in every direction uniformly, like the surface of a balloon or bubble expanding outward from every point everywhere. It expands outward at what's called unit velocity, or the velocity of light. This is Larson's idea of the progression of what he calls space-time. Is this concept correct?
I am Ra. This concept is incorrect, as is any concept of the one intelligent infinity. This concept is correct in the context of one particular logos or love or a focus of this Creator, which has chosen its, shall we say, natural laws and ways of expressing them mathematically and otherwise. The one undifferentiated, intelligent infinity, unpolarized, full and whole, is the macrocosm of the mystery-clad being. We are messengers of the law of one. Unity at this approximation of understanding cannot be specified by any physics, but only be activated or potentiated intelligent infinity due to the catalyst of free will. This may be difficult to accept. However, the understandings we have to share begin and end in mystery.
Well, we had yesterday arrived at a point where we were considering colors of light. Said that the nature of the vibratory patterns of the universe is dependent on the configurations placed on the original material by light by the focus of love using its intelligent energy to create a certain pattern of illusions or densities. And after this material, you said there's further information we should be happy to share. But you ran out of time. Could you complete with further information on that?
I am Ra. In discussing this information, we then shall we say, snap back into the particular methods of understanding or seeing that which is, that the one sound vibration complex Dewey offers. This being correct for the second meaning of intelligent infinity, the potential which then through catalyst forms the kinetic. This information is a natural progression of inspection of the kinetic shape of your environment. You may understand each a color or ray as a being, as we had said, a very specific and accurate portion of intelligent energies representation of intelligent infinity, each ray having been previously inspected in other regards. This information may be of aid here. We speak now non-specifically to increase the depth of your conceptualization of the nature of what is the universe in which you live is a recapitulation in each part of intelligent infinity. Thus, you will see the same patterns repeated in physical and metaphysical areas. The rays or portions of light being, as you surmise, those areas of what you may call the physical illusion, which rotate, vibrate, or are of a nature that may be, shall we say, accounted or categorized in a rotation manner in a space-time as described by the one known as a Dewey. Some substances having various of the rays in a physical manifestation visible to the eye, this being apparent in the nature of your crystallized minerals, which you count as precious the ruby being red, and so forth.
This light that occurred as a consequence of vibration, which is a consequence of love. I'm going to ask you if that statement is right. Is that right? Correct?
I am Ra. This statement is correct.
Okay. This light then can condense into material as we know it in our density, into all of our chemical elements. Because of rotations of the vibration at quantized intervals or units of angular velocity. Is this correct?
I am Ra. This is quite correct.
Thank you. I'm wondering what is the catalyst or the activator of the rotation? What causes the rotation so that the light condenses into our physical or chemical elements?
I am Ra. It is necessary to consider the enabling function of the focus known as love. This energy is of an ordering nature. It orders in a cumulative way from a greater to lesser, so that when its universe, as you may call it, is complete, the manner of development of each detail is inherent in the living light, and thus will develop in such and such a way your own universe having been well studied in an empirical fashion by those you call your scientists, and having been understood or visualized, shall we say, with a greater accuracy by the understandings or visualizations of the one known as Dewey.
When does the individualization or the individualized portion of consciousness come into play? How does this individualization occur, and at what point does individualized consciousness take over in working on the basic light?
I am Ra. You remain carefully in the area of creation itself. In this process, we must further confuse you by stating that the process by which a free will acts upon potential intelligent infinity to become focused intelligent energy takes place without the space-time of which you are so aware, as it is your continuum experience. The experience or existence of space-time comes into a being after the individuation process of logos or love has been completed, and the physical universe, as you would call it, has coalesced or begun to draw inward while moving outward to the extent that that which you call your sun bodies have in their turn created timeless chaos coalescing into what you call planets. These vortices of intelligent energy spending a large amount of what you would call first density in a timeless state. The a space, a time, a realization of being one of the learned teachings of this density of beingness. Thus, we have difficulty answering your questions with regard to a time and space and their relationship to the what you would call original creation, which is not a part of space-time as you can understand it.
Thank you. Does a unit of consciousness, an individualized unit of consciousness, create, say, a unit of the creation? I will give an example. Would one individualized consciousness create one galaxy of stars, the type that has many millions of stars in it? Does this happen?
I am Ra. This can happen. The possibilities are infinite. Thus, a logos may create what you call a star system, or it may be the logos creating billions of star systems. This is the cause of the confusion in the term galaxy, for there are many different logos, entities, or creations, and we would call each, using your sound vibration complexes, a galaxy.
Let's take as an example the planet that we're on now, and tell me how much of the creation was created by the same logos that created this planet.
I am Ra. This planetary logos is a strong logos creating approximately 250 billion of your star systems for its creation. The, shall we say, laws or physical ways of this creation will remain therefore constant.
And what you're saying is that the lenticular star system, which we call a galaxy, that we found ourselves in with approximately 250 billion other suns like our own, was created by a single logos. Is this correct?
I am Ra. This is correct.
Now, since there are many individualized portions of consciousness in this lenticular galaxy, did this logos then subdivide into more individualization of consciousness to create these consciousness, or to divide into these consciousness?
I am Ra. You are perceptive. This is also correct, although an apparent paradox.
Could you tell me what you mean by an apparent paradox?
I am Ra. It would seem that if one logos creates the intelligent energy waves for a large system, there would not be the necessity or possibility of the further sub-logos differentiation. However, within limits, this is precisely the case, and it is perceptive that this has been seen.
Thank you. Could you please make the instrument call? Thank you. Do all of the individualized portions of the logos then in our, I'll call the lenticular galaxy that we're in, of 250 billion suns or stars, I will call that the major galaxy, just so we will not get mixed up in our terms. Does all of the consciousness then, in this individualized form that goes into what I'm calling the major galaxy, start out and go through all of the densities in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or then to 8, or is there, shall I say, some who start higher up the rank and go in it so that there is always a mixture of intelligent consciousness in the galaxy.
I am Ra. The latter is more nearly correct. In each beginning, there is the beginning from infinite strength. Free will acts as a catalyst. Beings begin to form the universes. Consciousness then begins to have the potential to experience. The potentials of experience are created as a part of intelligent energy and are fixed before experience begins. However, there is always, due to free will acting infinitely upon the creation, a great variation in initial responses to intelligent energies potential. Thus, almost immediately, the foundations of the, shall we call it, hierarchical nature of beings begins to manifest as some portions of consciousness or awareness learn through experience in a much more efficient manner.
Is there any reason for some portions being much more efficient in learning?
I am Ra. Is there any reason for some to learn more quickly than others? Look if you wish to the function of the will, the, shall we say, attraction to the upward spiraling line of light.
Now, as the major galaxy is created in I'm assuming all of its densities. I'm assuming there are 8 densities created when this major galaxy was created. Is this correct?
I am Ra. This is basically correct. However, it is well to perceive that the 8th density functions also as the beginning, the density, or a first density in its latter stages of the next octave of densities.
Are you saying then there are an infinite number of octaves of densities, 1 through 8?
I am Ra. We wish to establish that we are truly humble messengers of the law of one. We can speak to you of our experiences and our understandings and learn in limited ways. However, we cannot speak in firm knowledge of all the creations. We know only that they are infinite. We assume an infinite number of octaves. However, it has been impressed upon us by our own teachers that there is a mystery-clad unity of creation in which all consciousness periodically coalesces and again begins. Thus, we can only say we assume an infinite progression, though we understand it to be cyclical in nature, and as we have said, clad in mystery.
Thank you. Could you please make the instrument talk again? Thank you. When this major galaxy is formed by the Logos, polarity then exists in a sense that we have electrical polarity, a gravitational effect that probably isn't polarity. I'll have to ask that question. We do have electrical polarity existing at that time, is this correct?
I am Ra. I accept this as correct with the stipulation that what you term electrical in what you would call the metaphysical sense.
Are you saying then that we not only have the polarity of electrical charge, but also a polarity in consciousness at that time?
I am Ra. This is correct. All is potentially available from the beginning of your physical space-time. It then being the function of the consciousness complexes to begin to use the physical materials to gain experience, to then polarize in a metaphysical sense. The potentials for this are not created by the experiencer, but by intelligent energy. This will be the last full question of this session, due to our desire to foster this instrument as it slowly regains a physical complex energy. May we ask if you have one or two questions we may answer shortly before we close.
I'm assuming that the process of creation then, after the original creation of the major galaxy, is continued by the further individualization of consciousness of the Logos, so that there are many, many portions of individualized consciousness, then creating further items, you might say, for experience all over the galaxy. Is this correct?
I am Ra. This is correct. For within the, shall we say, guidelines or ways of the Logos, the sub-Logos may find various means of differentiating experiences without removing or adding to these ways.
Thank you. Since we're out of time, I'll just ask if there's anything we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or help the contact.
I am Ra. This instrument is well adjusted. You are conscientious. I am Ra. I leave you, my friends, in the love and the light of the One Infinite Creator. Go forth, then, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the One Creator. Adonai.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Okay.
I could have told you about the apparent paradox was it's a mother or father of twin dogs.